Swipey was the hottest rapper in the DMV and was on his way to taking over the whole game. Many people believed he was about to become a superstar, but before he could truly pop off, he was brutally shot and killed. Today, we're breaking the whole story down. Swipey grew up on 37th Street in Southeast Washington, D.C., and started rapping when he was just a kid. From the beginning, he had dreams of making it in the rap game. However, before he started dropping music, Swipey allegedly got active in the streets. While it's unclear how deep he was in the trenches, his lyrics painted a picture of that lifestyle. On tracks like Intro, he rapped, "If I go broke, it's back to selling that torch. Turned the tears up, I stay lit like a torch. Late night shooting dice on the porch. Flip the money, I ain't coming up short. Summertime, I got it tucked to my shorts. Keep a hammer like the judge in the court, and straight out the trenches, my young, my ready. Run up on me, turn your mind to spaghetti." In 2023, Gizzy interviewed one of Swipey's cousins, who revealed that Swipey never see in his reps.
Swipey was just well liked, man. Cause even in his music, like songs like Rico and like he went a lot of in his songs, he's telling 100% truth.
Swipey was rapping about his real life, as he made clear on his Rico freestyle when he said, "I swear I could have been a doctor, got caught with grams in my locker. Whip game too proper, trap house trying to prosper, beat the pot like a boxer." According to Swipey's cousin, he really did get caught trapping out of his locker at school. And as a result, he was kicked out. Despite that, Swipey was a great student, and everyone at the school had love for him. Because of that, they gave him the chance to take a test and graduate with his class. Even before leaving school, Swipey had already built a lot of buzz around his name. He had been recording tracks on his phone and dropping them on SoundCloud since he was around 12 years old. So, by the time he started performing at schools in the area, he already had a fan base that knew all the lyrics to his songs. After graduating high school, Swipey had scholarships to go to college, but instead, he chose to go all in on his rap career. Everyone around him said he put every dollar he made back into his music because he knew it would pay off. He finally got into a real studio for the first time after graduation, and that's when his career really started taking off. But Swipey wasn't just trying to make it out of the trenches, he wanted to bring his people with him. Swipey started a crew called the Squad Boys, with his homie Romilly and a few other guys, and his goal was for everyone in the group to pop off. As his name started buzzing all over the city, bigger artists in the rap game also began noticing him. Everyone knew he had the skills to really blow up, and according to his cousin, Swipey had multiple people reaching out, trying to sign him. Instead of signing with a major artist, Swipey decided to take a deal with a small independent label called Men of Principles. The label was run by Kevin Baldwin, who also took on the role of managing Swipey. At first, this looked like a huge win. Everything Swipey dropped was pulling in big numbers. He even got the chance to collaborate with Lil Durk on the track Celebrate, which was a major moment for him. Being a huge fan of Chicago drill, getting a feature with Lil Durk was a dream come true, but just a week after the song dropped, tragedy struck. News broke that Swipey had been shot and killed outside of a party, cutting his rise to fame short before he could fully take over the game. On August 21st, 2016, Swipey attended a party at a family member's house on 3600 Parkway Terrace Drive in Suitland, Maryland. At some point during the night, he stepped outside to talk to his girlfriend. That's when 4 men walked up on him and opened fire, shooting Swipey 4 times. The shooters quickly jumped into their car and sped off, leaving Swipey critically injured. Paramedics arrived at the scene within minutes and did everything they could to save him. But unfortunately, it was too late. Swipey was pronounced dead at the scene, cutting short a life and career that was just beginning to take off. Swipey's death had a huge impact on the community. Everyone in the area loved him, and despite his career just beginning to take off, he was already giving back. People knew he had the potential to become something great. He had graduated high school at just 16 years old and had the opportunity to go to college, but instead, he chose to dedicate himself fully to music. From the moment he stepped into the booth, Swipey was on the rise, making a name for himself and inspiring those around him. Even the local radio hosts acknowledged the impact of Swipey's death. Just a month before he was killed, he had done an interview with WPGC where they hyped up his new music and the shows he had lined up. His career was gaining serious momentum, and everyone around him believed he was on his way to stardom. At first, no one had any idea who was behind the shooting. Everyone close to Swipey insisted that he didn't have any enemies, but it was clear that this wasn't just a random act of violence. The police, recognizing the significance of the case, put up a $25,000 reward for any information about Swipey's murder. But it took months before there was a break in the case. Then, in 2017, news broke that 2 men had been arrested for Swipey's murder. Deshaun Watkins, also known as Chunk Gotti, and Dante Brewer were taken into custody in February 2017. The way the cops tracked them down was wild. Dante Brewer was already wearing an ankle monitor from a different case, making it easy for investigators to check his movements. The GPS data showed him arriving at the scene at 12:58 a.m. and leaving just a few minutes later at 1:05 a.m. This was a major clue in the investigation. But the evidence didn't stop there. When police checked Dante Brewer's phone records, they discovered that he had been in contact with Chunk Gotti just 20 minutes before the shooting. This connection, along with the GPS data, gave investigators what they needed to make the arrests. Chunk Gotti and Dante Brewer were both tracked traveling from Washington, D.C. to the location where Swipey was murdered, and then heading straight back to D.C. after the shooting. This movement was a crucial piece of evidence that linked them to the crime. Chunk Gotti was further connected to the case when police found a gun near his home that matched the weapon used in Swipey's murder. What led the cops to him was an unrelated incident. He got into an argument with a girl on a school bus and allegedly flashed a gun at her. That incident led to his arrest, and during the investigation, police discovered the firearm, ultimately linking him to Swipey's killing. A few months after Dante Brewer and Chunk Gotti were arrested, police also booked Carlos Green and Mendel Green for Swipey's murder. It seemed like the case was about to be wrapped up, but then the trial kept getting delayed. No one knew exactly what was happening behind the scenes. And then, out of nowhere, the prosecutors announced that they were dropping the case. Rumors started circulating that Chunk Gotti had agreed to testify against his co-defendants, but later changed his mind. His decision not to cooperate reportedly weakened the prosecution's case to the point where they couldn't move forward, leading to the charges being dropped. None of the alleged shooters actually beat the case, and in 2019, all 4 of them were indicted again. But this time, there was a major twist. Kevin Baldwin, Swipey's manager and the head of the label he was signed to, was also charged as a co-conspirator. The news shocked everyone since Baldwin had been managing Swipey's career and was supposed to be helping him succeed. Initially, Baldwin had even turned his phone over to the cops, and they didn't find anything suspicious. However, as the investigation continued, more details emerged that connected him to the case. In 2019, investigators used new technology to reanalyze Kevin Baldwin's phone data. That's when they discovered he had been in contact with Mendel Green both before and after Swipey's murder. It seemed like prosecutors finally had a strong case and were ready to take it to trial. But in a surprising turn of events, all 5 suspects filed a motion to get the case dismissed, and the judge agreed. When the news broke that they had beaten the case without even going to trial, Swipey's friends and family were in disbelief. After years of waiting for justice, the court had simply thrown the case out. Even though nobody was convicted for Swipey's murder, many people believe the case was already solved. According to multiple sources, including rapper Ant Glizzy, Kevin Baldwin and his business partner had connections to the southwest side of DC, the same area the alleged shooters were from. Swipey had so much potential, and his career was just getting started when his life was cut short. His legacy lives on through his music and the people who continue to keep his name alive. No matter what really happened, one thing is certain: Swipey will never be forgotten.